Mike Graham. Bob Seeley's here with us. We're looking through the papers. A couple of big stories to talk about. In addition, we'll get to this one in a minute. Every 15 seconds in London, there's a ULEZ fine issued, which doesn't come as any great surprise to me. More grist to the mill for Sadiq Khan, who I refuse to call Sir Sadiq Khan. I'm just not going to do it. He's a disaster, isn't he?
Truly awful politician.
Yeah.
A truly disastrous mayor, and London deserves so much better than this.
It really does. Let's speak about Brexit, because 5 years ago, it all looked very different, didn't it? Suddenly we had this. I mean, I was actually, very optimistic in January of 2020, because, suddenly I thought Boris Johnson's got, and finally, after having spent, I think when you and I first met, it was that summer of 2019, in the tent of shame down in Westminster, where we sat endlessly talking and talking and talking, and nothing was happening. I remember coming in on a Saturday once, there was a session, wasn't there? And it didn't go anywhere, stalemate everywhere. So many people in the Conservative Party didn't want to leave the European Union, and they kept stamping their feet. 5 years on...
we had a bloc that were trying to be disruptive, but the majority wanted to get it out. And the problem is that people like Dominic Grieve were working with people like Hilary Benn and Starmer to do everything they could
to undermine it,
and to get us back in, to effectively overrule the largest exercise in democracy.
Right.
And one of the reasons we got the Brexit we did was because they were so arrogant, so determined to negate the wishes of the British people.
And people forget this about Starmer, that he wanted a second referendum, and he was very dogmatic about everything.
Have you? I'm sure you're going to play it soon, but have you seen all those clips now where on one hand he's saying I'm against it, Jeremy Corbyn's my best mate. I've never liked Jeremy Corbyn.
No,
I thought we need to rejoin the European Union.
We played all the stuff about Trump the other day. I don't want him to live around for dinner. He's a very dangerous man. If he gets elected, it's dangerous for the world. And then I just wish to my we can even, I don't know if we can find it before the end of the hour. But I mean, there's so much what I would call absolute and utter hypocrisy. We had him the other day saying under Labour, council tax will be frozen. Mark my words, not a penny more will you pay. And people are just going, hey, he's just lying now. So everything he says is now a lie, basically, which is unfortunate. But do you remember where you were when Brexit kind of happened?
I was on the island. I remember waking up, and it was sort of the BBC, when I still, in the days that I still bothered to listen to Radio 4 in the morning, the BBC was funereal. I mean, they weren't quite playing death marches, and they didn't quite, you imagine the black armbands, and they said Britain has voted to leave the European Union. I mean, they managed to do it in between the tears.
Unbelievable. And then, but there was that feeling of optimism. I remember I was actually feeling very well, because for some reason, I don't know, and I'd been to Chinatown the day before, and I suddenly felt very unwell. And I now say that I don't know whether that was some kind of COVID-related thing, but I had to go to this party. There was a big Parliament Square thing that went on, which I missed, couldn't get to it because it was too busy. Got to a party, which I think Nigel Farage was throwing, and there was a real sense that, we can actually now do something. And then suddenly COVID happened, and that was the end of that.
Brexit's taking a lot longer. I mean, look, there are people who say there's lots of benefits. We've seen lots of benefits, and one is we're not tied to the European Union. We don't have to spend God knows how many billions on giving money to the European Union. So we are a lot better off. And
Except
there are many
the Labour Party is going to drag us back into it, isn't it?
Well, they're going to try to, no doubt. But I mean, there's only so far that they can go. What we are not doing enough of is actually using the benefits. But even Starmer is saying, we don't have to listen to the European Union on AI, so we can do something different. Like all the industries where we are potentially up there with China and the United States are industries where we need to depart from European standards, whether it's pharmaceuticals, whether it's AI, whether it's these sort of tech stuff, all this stuff. We need the freedom to make our own laws, which are going to be much closer to the US, rather than this highly restrictive approach that the European Union takes, which is the principle you say no first, and then you allow something through. And actually, we've got a chance to move away from that. And the failure of Brexit has not been Brexit itself, because I voted for it as you did, but it's the fact that our political leaders have not been brave enough in what they've been doing. And it's taken an awful lot longer. And I'm hoping once we get this shower out in a few years'
It's almost
time,
like they've opened the door, but they're too frightened to step out into the street.
We need, once we get this Labour shower out, then we need to start making progress on this ASAP. And actually, you're right, we've wasted years.
We have. Let's go back to Starmer, because we found the Trump clips. Let's have a look at this.
I love it.
Of course, I wouldn't want Donald Trump round for dinner, but don't underestimate the danger to the world if Trump is re-elected this time around. I'm anti-Trump. I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States.
His voice has actually got more clipped, hasn't it, over the years? I've got a piece in the mail today from the guy
I'm reading it
from Dead Ringers, John Coleshaw.
Yeah.
Who basically says that Keir Starmer's speaking style is like audio constipation. He's right.
He is.
The 47th President of the United States. I don't know where he got that from.
He's very mimicable.
Yes.
It's so, what's the word if it's very nasal?
It is.
Adenoidal?
Adenoidal, yes, he is. Absolutely, it's very weird. Now, I have to say, I don't really want to talk about this, but because I've opened page 3 of the Daily Mail, there are two very large pictures of David Beckham in his new underpants from Hugo Boss.
I'm trying not to
I'm sure it's one for the girls, or possibly some of the boys as well. Not particularly one for me, but I mean, he does look pretty good, doesn't he?
He's
49.
He's looking good for his age.
Yeah, not bad at all.
And the underpants aren't too tight, so it's not...
No. It doesn't make you want to buy them, though, does it?
No.
Can we just move on?
I'm happy with my boxes.
Yeah, just move on. Let's talk about... oh, hang on. We've got a voice note from Matt on Rachel Reeves' CV.
Hey, Mike, it's Matt from Doncaster. So if I lied while I was doing my job, the class is gross misconduct. These clowns are being exposed for their lies every single day. When is somebody going to hold them accountable? When is somebody going to step in and make them justify their actions? Council tax going up. Water rates, just exposed yesterday, going up on average 26%. On top of everything else that's going on, they're just a bunch of clowns. Somebody needs to get a grip in power and bring these bozos down before it's too late.
It is extraordinary. It's just ridiculous. One final one. About £1 in every £15 spent on benefits last year was fraudulently claimed or paid by mistake. I mean, £10 billion of taxpayers' money paid out for bogus or erroneous claims.
This is so painful. I don't even want to... I can't bear it.
No.
I mean, have you seen the other thing about... There's in the... Yesterday, somebody from the Centre for Policy Studies was tweeting it out. For every social care worker visa, that person brings in 5 dependents.
Yes.
And from Zimbabwe, they're bringing 10 dependents.
Well, I tell the story of a Border Force guy. I've told it, I think, 3 times already this week, but I'll tell it again. 3 nurses come into Heathrow, all armed with visas to work in the National Health Service. Each of them have got a husband, each of them have got 5 kids. 21 people for 3 jobs.
I know. It's just, I can't bear it.
I know. It's bonkers, isn't it?
I can't bear it. It's just what's happening.
Yeah, it really is mad. But, you know, listen, Bob, it's been great to see you.